I'm excited for what we got in store for you guys for tonight's lesson. And so, sad news, Casey's homesick. So pray for Case. He's supposed to preach on Sunday, so hopefully he gets better so he can do that. Also, Jamie is sick tonight, so I'm leading worship as well. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my goodness. You guys do not want me to do that. That would be so bad. No, we have an awesome team of students and alumni who are going to lead you guys tonight. And yeah, we're really excited for what that's going to be. And I'm looking forward to a lesson for tonight. I taught this last week to middle school, and it's going to be fun. It is so important for us to get this topic right in our lives and to start that early on in our life. So I'm going to open us up with a word of prayer, and then we're going to get started with our next topic in our choices series. So go ahead and bow your heads with me. Dear God, we just thank you so much. First of all, for the ability to come here to this amazing church, God, that you have just blessed us with and blessed these students to have such a great opportunity to worship you and to learn about you and your word in this building. God, this was only because of many people who were just faithful in giving their gifts and their tithes and their offerings to you, just to build an amazing place for these students to hear your word, God. I just thank you for our students just being here and their willingness just to learn from your word, God, and just be shaped and be changed so that they can go out into the world around them and be lights for you. God, I just pray that you give me the words to speak tonight as I talk on this very important topic that is culturally just an area that people are just constantly in battle of how you should handle finances. But God, just give me the words to speak, allow your word to speak true to these students, and allow them to leave here tonight with just a different understanding of money and what you have called us to do with that money. God, we just all these things up in the name of your son, Jesus. Amen. All right, so obviously tonight is on finances. You guys all got your notes, right? Everyone? So I will be honest, I made a mistake on there. As you guys noticed, there's not many fill in the blanks. Doofus up here forgot to delete the actual words in the blanks. So I'll tell you guys to circle certain things as we go through the night. I was trying to be financially responsible, and I didn't want to reprint all the notes. So you have all of the fill in the blanks already, except for like 2 or 3 or something. So we'll get there in a minute. But just so you know, you already have everything filled out in your notes. I'll tell you guys to circle things when we get there. But tonight's topic is about what? Money. All right, so I got $10,000 here. It's fake, okay? Come on. That's ridiculous. Actually, this is like surprisingly real looking. Jamie actually tricked his wife Becca into thinking it was real money. Super funny. Yeah, she'll tell you about that. But no, like we all could deal with like a little extra money, right? I know you guys, I don't know if anyone in this room as a student has $10,000 yet. I know I did not as a high school student. But money is a huge thing. Our whole society runs off of money. Our world runs off of money. But God has said some very specific things to us in his word of how to handle money and what our proper view and perspective should be on money in our lives. So as you guys look at your notes, I just want to highlight something. This actually has come from Casey. We try to do this topic every single year. But Casey has a specific definition for you guys as to what financial fitness looks like in your life. So to be financial fit is a person who is financially fit, is a person who has been wise with their resources in ways that they continue to multiply them. And you guys probably talked about that. Middle school talked about that tonight, the parable of the talents that Jesus shared in the New Testament. And hopefully you guys have read that at some point. We're not going to get into that tonight. But I think it's important for us to realize this definition that Casey has given us is a person who has been wise with their resources in ways that they continue to multiply them. So nowhere in this section does it talk about how much you make. Being financially fit with your money and being responsible with your money, the amount of it doesn't matter. But what you do with it and how you plan to use it, that is the determining factor of if you are truly financially responsible and financially fit with your life. So it doesn't matter how much you make, but it matters how you plan to use it. That is a huge deal because our society is only built on gaining more and more and more money. They don't care how you use it. They care that you use it to just be like the person next to you and be better than the person next to you. But as we're going to study tonight, that is not what God calls us to do with this money that he gives to us. So you're going to be either one of two people as you guys think through this concept of being financially fit and being financially responsible. So you are either going to be a proactive person, you're going to be someone who is living with a plan or purpose which guides your decision making. So you are choosing what is going to happen with your money. You're making decisions ahead of time. As we've gone through this whole choices series, you would be the person who's intentionally making choices that are going to benefit you in the future. And that's going to be a huge theme for tonight, of thinking about the future you, and if you're going to be happy with that person, or if you're going to be happy with past you, which is you right now, or are you going to be annoyed that you were immature and not responsible with the choices that were set out before you? So you can either be proactive or you can be reactive. It is someone who is living without a plan, purpose, and generally making decisions that make you happy now, but most likely not later. And that's where we find a lot of society today, where you're making decisions to make you happy right now, make you happy in the moment, and then later on in life you realize, oh, I don't have any opportunities now because I've just wasted all of my resources. I've made poor decisions to only care about the now and not about the future. That is so hard for us to think through of, wow, how do I plan my life accordingly so that future me is happy with past me? The future me is blessed by technically present you right now. So as we kind of see that, we need to really understand that the habits that you guys are forming as high school students is so important. So the habits that you form now with money impact your ability to be financially fit in the future. You can change your habits later on when you're in college or when you're an adult or once you guys have kids and a family and everything. You can change those habits. But it makes it a lot more work when you guys have to do that. You've already established habits, and now you're going to sacrifice so much more to get yourself back on track. So why not start with good habits in the first place? It is going to lead you to a path that is so much more fruitful in your life if you start that as a high school student, as a college student, before you do have hopefully tons of money. That's the hope, that you would be blessed by God and blessed by a job that He has given you to earn a decent living. But then if you learn when you don't have a lot of money how to manage it well, you're going to manage it well when you're older. So, how do you guys manage your money? How do you guys spend your money right now? Are you good at it? Do you maybe struggle with how you use your finances? Who just gets money and spends it immediately? Anyone? No one's willing to admit it? Okay. So that was totally me in middle school and technically in high school, all right? I don't know who chose this, but I was allowed to babysit someone when I was in middle school. I don't know who in the right mind thought that was a great idea, but I actually was able to babysit and earn some money. They paid me very well. It was an awesome gig. I loved it. I would do yard work. I'd mow yards. I'd do just tons of stuff to get extra money. But how do you think I use my money? I did go to movies. Actually, me and Tyler went to way too many movies when I was in high school. I bought food. That was my thing. I would get money from babysitting, and then I would immediately want to go and spend it. I'd be like, dude, you got to get some Mountain Dew and Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Like, come on, that is like the best combo ever. That is what I would do with my money. I had no plan for it. I had no concept of, I should like set myself up for when I'm in college and I need to pay for school to like think through, how could I actually pay for this? My family wasn't blessed to be able to pay for me to go to school, so I had to find a way to pay for it myself. Some of you might be blessed to have that opportunity with your family, and some of you might not. But I could have had the opportunity to save money in middle school and high school to pay for some of those things, to be able to pay for a car. My parents were very nice and bought all three of me and my brothers a car to use while we were in high school. It died my last day of high school. I'm the youngest, so it died the last day of high school. I'm like, shoot, I've got to go buy a car because my parents aren't responsible for me anymore. I have to go and buy my own car. I had to get a second job to pay off my grandparents who I borrowed money from to buy the car. Like, if I would have been smart and intentional with my money as a middle school and high school student, I would have had money to buy the car. I had a little bit saved. I learned a little bit through high school and through Casey and Dave Ramsey's teachings of how to save money. And I had to work a second job, which really sucked out of high school. It was annoying. But now I feel like I've learned some really important things of how to budget, how to plan wisely so that I'm not stressed out in the future of like, shoot, this huge new thing has come up in my life. How am I going to pay for it? I just ate all of the money that I had earlier. I went and bought out, all of the beef jerky and Milky Ways and everything because I wanted to please me in the moment now and not think about me in the future. So I want you guys to think through, is that you, or is there maybe something tonight that you need to learn to help you not do that? Because it's so easy to do that, so easy to fall into that trap. So I think that is because our whole society is based around this concept of now. This is one of your fill in the blanks. I know you guys want to circle that word because that is so important for us to think through, that we live in a very now type society, which often results in life later being unhealthy and limited in its fruitfulness. So there's this interesting quote I want you guys to read. This comes from USA Today. This is a larger article talking about people's retirement. Retirement is something that you have to plan for a very long time. You have to constantly put money into it so that you're preparing for the time that you would like to retire when you're older. So there's this crazy stat that's out there. So it says, this is in your notes if you want to read it. So it says, however, the average tells only about half the story. While the average 401k, that is a retirement plan or a type of retirement plan, participant has $272,000. Like, that sounds like a lot, right? But that really isn't a lot if you have no other income. Like, your family could not last very long on just that amount of money if that is all you had when you retired at the age of 65. It would be gone in probably 3 years. And it's totally gone, and you are dependent on the government or your family to take care of you. So let's keep on reading this quote. So it says the median balance for this age group is $88,000. Mathematically, that means that half of the participants have less than $88,000 in their accounts, while half have more. So that means there is half of the people out there who don't even have $100,000. Like, that's not even like a lot of people's yearly salary that they have in retirement that is safe for them to live off of from 65 until God calls them home. Like, that is not wise planning because so many people are so indwelled in the now and taking care of yourself now and being like the person next to you or down the block or that you see on Instagram or on Facebook. No, you guys don't do Facebook. TikTok. You can't even do TikTok anymore. Oh my goodness. I don't know where you guys are going to find out how to spend money. But that's so important for us to think through, wow, I not only need to take care of myself now, I've got to figure out how to take care of myself in the future. But I want you guys to think through this. In the future, it's not just going to be you that you have to take care of, right? All of you in this room probably would love to find a husband or a wife later on in life. So how you handle money now, the habits you form are going to impact that individual. Most of you in this room would probably like to have kids. So the habits you form now in high school will impact your future kids. They'll impact your future grandkids. It could impact the church that you attend. If you can actually tithe or give an amazing gift to build this building that you guys are sitting in right now. You know how many people have managed their money so well that they've written checks with way too many zeros on them for me to comprehend, for you guys to experience a youth group that you currently experience. But they have learned how to manage the money that God has given them in a way to bless you and to bless so many people. That all comes from habits that they have formed over their lifetime to use God's money in a way that is honoring and glorifying to Him and is fruitful. You guys are an example of that fruitfulness, of being able to sit in this building in a place that we honestly don't deserve, but God has truly blessed us with and blessed His people to donate abundantly to allow you to experience this. You guys have that same opportunity. You just have to make the right choices with your finances. So as I said to you guys earlier, we have this concept, I don't have it on the slide, that I want you guys to keep in mind. So manage your money in a way that future you is happy with the current you. If you guys keep that in mind as you spend your money, I think that is really going to help you. Because I really don't want you to be an adult and be so angry and upset with past you because you just squandered all of the gifts that God had given you. So as we've seen, we've talked a lot about kind of the world and what you guys are growing up in, but God has a lot to say about money in Scripture. And there's some scriptures that I want us to read tonight. These are on the front page of your notes here. So we're going to start in Proverbs 21, 20 through 21. So it says, "In the house of the wise are stores of choice food and oil, but the foolish man devours all he has." That was basically middle school me right there, is defined in verse 20. Verse 21, "He who pursues righteousness and love finds life, prosperity, and honor." Proverbs 3, 9 through 10, "Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops. Then your barns will be filled to overflowing, and your vats will brim over with new wine." If you manage God's money well, He is going to bless you. It might not necessarily be just with money. He might bless you in other ways with relationships or just different things in your life. It's not like if I give God $20, He's going to bless me with $50. Like that's not what we're saying here. But you are going to produce in yourself a life that is fruitful, and He is going to bless that. 1 Timothy 5:8, "If anyone does not provide for his relatives, and especially for his immediate family, he is denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever." Those are some strong words, that if we don't manage our money well to take care of those that God has entrusted us with, it does not go well for those people. And that is a harsh reality for us to think through of like, wow, that's my responsibility. And you guys get to make those choices and form those habits now to not fall into that. 1 Timothy 6, 6 through 10. "But godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into the world, and we can take nothing out of it." Casey has said this a number of times. I don't know if he said it to you guys recently. If you've never seen a U-Haul truck following a hearse to the cemetery, right? There's no U-Haul that gets stored where your body gets put into the ground of the cemetery. You take nothing with you. All of the stuff that we collect, it's gone. It's worth nothing. Verse 8, but if we have food and clothing, we will be content with that. People who want to get rich fall into temptation and a trap, and into many foolish and harmful desires that plunge men into ruin and destruction. This is so important, verse 10. "For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil." You want to know why? Because it pulls our focus off of God and His desire for us. Because we start thinking about what we desire and what we want. That's not how you have a healthy and fruitful life for the King. Some people are eager for money, have wandered from the faith, and pierced themselves with many griefs because they have decided to follow this trap of money in their life. And as you guys see at the bottom of the slide here, Jesus also talks much about money. These are all other people talking, but Jesus talked about money as a teaching tool in 11 of His 39 parables. Jesus talked about money so much because it's so easy to fall into the trap and the desire of money and gaining wealth and gaining fame in this world. He knew we were going to struggle with it, so He gave us ways to study to not let that happen in our lives, but instead be fully surrendered to God and who He is. So as we go through this, obviously God has a lot to say about money and about finances. I would say I am definitely not an expert on money and finances, all right? Like, I have to be honest, I am not. I'm still growing, I'm still getting older. I think I have improved a lot since I was in high school and in middle school and in college, and God has allowed me to do some great things and teach me some great things. But there are other people in this world who are incredible at finances. So, you guys heard of Dave Ramsey? Raise your hand if you have. Okay, that is awesome. So, Dave Ramsey is an incredible guy. He has helped so many people in America and in other countries get out of debt, set themselves up to be fruitful with their future, and to set the future selves up to win, eliminating debt in their life and fully understanding and respecting where these resources come from and what we need to do if we fully understand that in our life. So we have Dave Ramsey and a lot of other personalities that are on a talk show that he does. They're on YouTube. They have so many shorts. There's another guy, George Kamel. He kind of started this new YouTube channel that is a part of Dave Ramsey. And he kind of makes videos that are probably a little more interesting to your generation and to mine and to people around our age. They're a little bit more interesting. They do visual things that are really fun, but he is teaching the same principles that Dave does. And it really helps us get a grasp of our finances because we're not all going to be experts at this, but they're going to give us tools to manage our money in a way that is honoring and glorifying to God so that we can take care of ourselves now, so that we can bless our family, our loved ones, our church, our community, because we have managed our money well. I really encourage you guys to dive into some of that stuff. I have a couple of books up here. George Camel, we actually just gave this to all of our seniors. So our seniors are studying this just to learn how to better manage their money. You guys don't have a ton of money to manage right now, but if you learn now how to do it, it is going to be so much better as you guys get older. The book we used to give our seniors was Dave Ramsey's Money Makeover, another great book, really a way for those who are stuck in credit card debt or just massive debt of ways to get out of that. What I'm trying to do with you guys tonight, what Casey does, and you guys had Tom Price come literally 1 year ago and do a very similar financial talk. We are trying to set you guys onto a road to where you don't need to worry about paying off debt, about the debt snowball, about the 7 baby steps of how to get out of financial ruin, like Dave did. We want to set you guys up so you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about, man, how am I going to pay off all this credit card debt that I have, these insane bills that I just don't know what to do with. I don't want that for you guys. God does not want that for you guys. So I encourage you, what are you going to do with your life now to make sure you don't end up in that? So as we keep going, Dave Ramsey has this amazing baby step plan that he has for adults. This is not for you guys, all right? This is not for you guys. Hopefully none of you are in debt right now. I feel really bad if you are. You're only in high school. Okay. But Dave Ramsey has these things. These are not really for you. These baby steps are not for you guys. Save $1,000 as a starter emergency fund. I don't know how much money you guys make. What do you guys make an hour? Like $12, $15, $18 an hour? Yeah, okay. Anyone make $7.50 or whatever minimum wage is? I feel really bad for you if you do. So pay off all debt. Hopefully you guys don't have debt yet, right? Save 3 to 6 months of expenses in a fully funded emergency fund. Like, that is not you guys whatsoever. You need to know this or keep this in mind of like, ooh, as I become an adult, these are things that I should do. These are things that I'm doing in my life right now. Making sure I didn't have any debts. I was able to pay for school as I went, so I currently have no debt, and it is so incredibly awesome. I have been able to set myself, an emergency fund, so if something crazy happens in life, I don't have to freak out and be like, I can't afford this, here's my credit card, I need to pay for it. I have money that I've realized, wow, I need to store for myself, choice foods and wine, things so that when bad times come, I have money that I can afford to pay for it. And then you don't enter the stress of your life and anxiety of how am I going to survive when something bad happens. So you see, this is not really for you guys. So I have different baby steps for you guys to go through tonight. So you ready for your first one? Obviously you don't have to fill in your blank because I already did that, but go ahead and circle it if you would like. So know where your resources and money come from. That is so important for us to understand. Know where your resources and money come from. So we have here James 1:17. Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, that is our Heavenly Father God, with whom there is no variation or shadow due to change. We see everything comes from God. There's an important concept that Dave Ramsey talks about so much, and you guys need to really understand when we realize where our money and our wealth truly comes from. We have to understand this word stewardship. So this comes actually straight out of Dave Ramsey's website, and I love how he said it, so we're gonna go through this right now. So stewardship, it's the first assignment gave to the human race in Genesis 1:28. That's when God told Adam and Eve to have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and every living thing that moves on the earth. Stewardship is managing God's blessings, God's way, for God's glory. You see, the Bible tells us in Psalms 24:1 that He owns everything. He owns it all. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. So if He's the owner, that means that we are not the owner, right? Instead, we are His stewards. That's where the word stewardship comes from. His managers. God commands us to be stewards over everything He blesses us with. which everything he gives us is a blessing. That means we need to surrender everything to him. That means our time, our talents, our treasures, our relationships, our jobs, and yes, our stuff and our money. It all belongs to him. He has just chosen to indwell it to us to manage it well. So if it's all God's and he trusts us with it, what are we going to do with it? How are we going to manage that? If we understand that money is truly a gift from him, it's not just for us to go freely spend as we think we should and we go and get into credit card debt and get into trouble. That's not what he wants. He wants us to honor and glorify him with the money that he has given us, because it is truly a gift from him. Let's go to number 2 for you guys. Make a plan for your money. Make a budget. So go ahead and circle that in your notes there. Make a plan for your money or a budget. You guys have heard this concept before, right? Do you guys actually do it in your life, though? It's kind of bad if you know about it, but you don't actually do it, right? So let's read in Luke 16, 10 through 13. Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. And whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much. So if you have not been trustworthy in handling worldly wealth, who will trust you with true riches? And if you have not been trustworthy with someone else's property, who will give you property of your own? No servant can serve 2 masters. Either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. That is so important for us to understand and to figure out, well, how do I actually live that out in my life? Well, the choice is yours. And the choices you make with your money determine if you are serving God or you're serving money, which in a sense is serving yourself. So where are you currently at right now? As a high school student sitting in this room, where are you currently at with this? There's some questions you guys have here in your notes. What is your maturity level with money currently? Are you mainly a spender or a saver or a good balance of both? Who do you think I was in middle school? I was a spender. I'm like, I got money, I'm going to spend it right away. It's not going to sit around whatsoever. I had to train so hard to make myself a saver. I basically had to turn it into a game. I would basically go every single day and be like, all right, the game. Spend as little money as possible. All right, now I know that's not really budgeting, but in high school, that's kind of what I did. I would go through the day and think, okay, did I spend any money today? Shoot, I got taquitos at the gas station. I spent $8. That's not good. But I would set for myself a game to spend as little money as possible, which meant I could put more money towards my savings. And I did that for so long that it's just natural for me to not go buy all these awesome new clothes. You guys probably see me in lame clothes. It's because I just don't care, because it's not worth me spending a ton of money on my clothes. Instead, I'd rather save for a down payment on a house. Save money for a new car when mine blows up. My car has 200,000 miles on it. I own it outright. I don't pay anyone for that car. But I have money set aside that when that car finally blows up, all I have to do is go to the dealership and say, here's some money, give me a car, and I don't even feel bad because I have money set aside to do that. I don't have to be shoot, I have to ride my bike everywhere because I don't have any money. That's not where I'm at, because I made it a game to save money for myself. And maybe that's what you have to do for you. So I think it's so important for you guys to think through where you currently are at and how you need to grow in that to set yourself up to win in the future. So you guys have obviously heard of the envelope system. We have done that through Dave Ramsey so many times. I tried to do this in high school and a little bit after high school, and it was okay. I have found it much easier just to use Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey has an app. Smart Money? I actually every dollar. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot what it was. Yeah, obviously I use it really well, right? But I have it all fully budgeted there. I don't have to worry about actually physically getting cash. But I would take my check in high school, go to the bank, cash it out, get cash, put it in different envelopes, and that would be, all right, this is my money for eating out. This is my money for junk food. This is my money for gas. This is my money for whatever it would be. Obviously, you guys don't have a lot of different funds to put it in, right? For the girls out there, you can dress them up. You can make them look fancy. Okay, they don't have to be plain white envelopes. Okay, make them look nice. Totally fine with that. But have a plan for your money. That is so important. And we are told of this plan And this plan is important because guess what? God was a planner, right? God's word is his plan. His plan for the universe, his plan that has been told from the beginning of time, has already been fulfilled in many ways, but his plan is still unfolding to this day. His plan in Revelation is still coming to pass. We see that God has been a planner since the beginning of time. Should I not also be a planner and have a plan for my finances and what I wish that I could do as an adult? Maybe you guys would love a lake house or a boat or a timeshare. Don't do timeshares. Oh, shoot. Don't get me into that. Okay? But you guys could achieve that if you learn how to plan your finances well and learn how to budget. Those aren't bad things if you can truly afford them. Just make sure you can afford them. Set yourself up to be able to afford them. So you guys have on your kind of second sheet of paper a budget that you guys can fill out. You guys don't have to do this tonight. This is just a way that I want you guys to think through. Obviously, you guys don't have to pay for a ton of things now as high schoolers, right? You just don't, because your parents are taking care of you. But I think it's very important for you guys to realize the reality of adulthood, the reality of the things that you are going to be needing to pay for as an adult. There's some of those things on this list, and there's going to be things that you don't need to actually technically budget for in here. But this is a way for you guys to practice. And actually, shout out to Jim Fitzsimons. He's doing a budgeting and finance elective next Wednesday for you guys. So don't miss that. Yeah, I gotcha. Shout out to Jim. Jim's like a financial expert, apparently. I think he looks a little bit like George Camel sometimes in how he responds. So I don't know, maybe they're brothers. I have no clue. But no, that is like a very intentional way for you guys to think through how much you actually make, how to budget it, how to plan for savings in the future. And I want you guys to do that. Obviously, there's multiple pages for you guys. There's like restaurants, school lunches, clothes, sporting jerseys and apparel, gas, car insurance, oil change. You guys might not have to pay for all that, but those are legit things that you have to think through in adulthood. So I'm going to show you a really big, scary thing. Mortgages, right? Ooh, you're like, what's a mortgage? That's what you get to be able to pay for your house. All right, it is one of those things that is almost impossible to be able to pay cash for your house. All right, Dave Ramsey teaches pay cash for literally everything in your life, but it is okay to not pay cash for a house because it is so expensive. But you want to know what's crazy is our financial system is stupid. All right, Tom Price taught on this last year. Hopefully you saw that. If you didn't, go to YouTube. We have all those videos on YouTube, and you guys can watch him talk you guys through this percentages talk, which is incredible. But the crazy thing is for mortgages, a mortgage lender, a person who's going to lend you money to pay for your house that you have to pay back with interest, they are letting you take money that is up to, there's this important word here. Sorry, I don't want to do that. Go back one. Okay. So there's this important thing here, debt to income ratio. All right, so when you get a mortgage, this is crazy, but this is important, guys. A mortgage lender is like, oh, you make this much money. I am willing to let you go into, or let you use this much percentage of your income to pay for your house. All right? So obviously, all of your income cannot go to paying for your house. Like, that's insane. You can't eat food. You can't drive your car. You can't pay for electricity for your house. You can't do that. So they generally will let you, spend, 36% to 43% of your income, like, on your house and the mortgage that you would pay this company every single month. That is actually an astronomical amount of money and not really smart. Does anyone know what Dave Ramsey says? 20 to 25% on a 15-year mortgage. And that's really hard to do. But that sets you up really well in life to not have to be paying for a mortgage for 30 years of your life. The other crazy thing is they also do that with cars. They'll be willing to give you up to 20% of your take-home, not even take-home pay, this is the crazy part, to spend on a car loan. But the crazy part is they calculate that number not even on what actually comes to you into your account. Do you guys know the difference between gross and net pay? Have you guys learned that in school? Okay, only 3 of you. That's great. Well, let me teach you guys. All right, so gross income is the total income your employer pays you. All right, it is this huge amount of money, but guess what? It's gross. You don't get to touch it. All right? Because who comes along first? The government. Hey, everyone's favorite friend, right? So that is where you come into your net income, what you actually get in your bank account after all of these other things are taken out of your paycheck. So you guys you got your first paycheck and you're like, what? I multiplied. I worked 15 hours at $20 and I thought I was going to get this money. Why is it 20% less than that? Well, it's because the government has to take their share. For you to drive on roads, for you to have electricity that comes to your house, that you could pay for more electricity, all of the things. The government does so much to allow our society to function, but they have to take their chunk, all right? But the crazy thing is the mortgage companies, they don't care about that, all right? They are making those calculations on this gross income that you don't even touch, which is insane. So even though it's this crazy thing of, oh, you make this huge lump sum of money, we're willing to let you go into this much debt and this much of a payment every single month in your house because that's what you make. Well, it actually isn't what you make. You make actually the smaller number because these things haven't been taken out of that paycheck yet. So that is what this crazy chart is for you guys. I'm not really going to go much into this, but this is where you find the true reality. Oh, I guess my lights are kind of in the way up there. But you see that this system will lie to you of them saying, oh, you can spend this crazy 40-some% of your income on your house. But then you realize, oh, well, actually, I don't even get to touch 100% of my income because the government takes a chunk. I need to send a chunk to my retirement. Ooh, I probably need to pay for health insurance so if I get sick, I can go to the doctor. Oh, I probably should tithe to the church and honor God with the first fruits that he talked about in the scripture that we read here, that we need to give back to God what he has given to us as a gift, as a sacrifice and as a thank you for what he has gifted us with. So we see we have this crazy situation here where the system tells you, oh, you can borrow up to 40% of your salary. Well, that doesn't take into account all of the extra expenses that you have in life that this is actually the reality or the system column here. It doesn't budget any of that. So you think, hey, I've got some crazy $2,000 left over at the end of the month. But then you're like, oh, shoot, the system doesn't take into account all of these taxes that are coming out of my paycheck. That is where America comes in this huge issue, where you're like, oh, the mortgage company says I can borrow this much money. I'm going to borrow the max of that. And then you realize, oh, shoot, I don't have enough money to go buy food. And you're in trouble. And then you start to use credit cards. Ooh, those are terrible. Don't use credit cards, please. We're going to get to that in a little bit. But I want you guys just to look through this sheet because this is a reality budget. Obviously, these numbers are kind of crazy. I totally understand that. This is not my salary, trust me. That would be insane. Okay. But there are so many things in this life that we are going to have to pay for, that you are going to have to pay for as adults. And there's things that aren't even on this list. Like diapers. I heard those are crazy expensive, okay? There is things in life that are so expensive. I want you guys to be able to be fruitful and care for your family well. Don't buy a house you can't afford. Don't buy a car you can't afford. Don't use credit cards to pay for everything because you think, oh, I'll be fine next month when I have to pay it off. Well, you're probably not going to. So, what is our next baby step for you guys? Stick to your budget. Obviously, it's important to have a budget. But now you need to stick to your budget. What good is a budget if you don't stick to it, right? So go ahead, circle that. That is so important for us to understand that we need to stick to this budget that we have decided. And sometimes you might have to change your budget, all right? Sometimes you're going to realize, shoot, I'm going through a lot more gas now because I'm driving a lot. Maybe I want to go see someone who lives kind of far away and I need to drive there and I'm going to spend a ton of money on gas. Or maybe you want to go work out at the gym or something and get super ripped, so you need to pay money to go and work out at a gym and pay a gym membership. You're going to have to constantly change and update your budget. Your budget is not just going to be set for all of your 20s or all of your 30s or all of your 40s. It's going to have to fluctuate and change. And you're going to find out that you're going to sacrifice in different areas of your life based on what you want to do in life. But just make sure that at the end of your budget, you don't have a negative number. Please make sure you don't have a negative number in that budget. Your goal is to have $0, or I do my budget a little bit differently as I try to go super lean on what I purchase, and I go very heavy in what I spend or what I save. Oh my gosh, I almost said the wrong word. I go very heavy in what I save so that I can be prepared for the future and what it's going to bring to me. So I want us to understand this really important concept that is the downfall of pretty much American society, almost the whole world, is this constant life battle of instant gratification versus contentment. Instant gratification versus contentment. Of, am I going to just fulfill the desires of I just want this now, I want this now, I see this other person with this thing, I want to go buy it, I need to buy it, I have to have this. Like that's just impulse. That is instant gratification. As opposed to being content with where God has you in life right now, to spend a little and save a lot. So that later in life, you can bless people around you. You can be generous to your family and to your church and to your community in ways that the person who is over here in instant gratification land can't do. They're just trying to get all of this stuff in their life to look important and look good to those people around them that those people probably don't care about them. But you think, oh, if I get all this stuff, they'll like me. Well, are they really worth pleasing? Are they really worth you spending all of that for them to like you? So I love this quote from Dave Ramsey. He says, children do what feels good. Adults devise a plan and follow it. It's important for you guys to know there are many adult-aged people in this world who still act like children. So many, far too many. I want to challenge you guys to actually be adults, to actually create a plan and to follow it, to be an adult and to be mature. You're going to set yourself up so well for the future. So there's this video that I want you guys to see that is very important. Dave Ramsey shares this, and I think it is important for us to understand and to grasp in this situation. You guys will like this.
You have to bring out the secret weapon.
What's that?
The ancient word.
Uh-oh.
The word that no one is allowed to speak anymore. You're not allowed to utter it in the American public. You can't say it in any place, particularly around government or around entitled people. You want to hear the word?
I want to hear it. Dave, you can't say it on air. We're going to get taken off.
I know. You press your tongue towards the roof of your mouth, make a kissing motion with your lips. I know you've not used it in a while. No. You have to bring out the secret weapon.
What's that?
It is a very simple word, right?
Word.
The word no.
The word that...
All right? Yeah, you guys may have missed it. I don't know. Apparently, these girls totally missed what the word was. Our society is so bad with the word no. They say, no, I can't afford this. No, that is not a good idea. No, that is not part of God's design or God's plan. Our society is so bad at it. But as you guys learn to budget, as you guys learn and understand that it is all a gift of God and that we need to be responsible with that money that He gives us, we can turn this no into a later. That is the goal, to make sure that you are making a plan for yourself now so that you can set yourself up later for success. You might say no to that speedboat, in your 30s, even though everyone else has one and it's awesome, but you can set aside money and save so that later you could have an even better speedboat because you set your money aside. And you could afford something even cooler. The goal is to not let you guys be deprived of anything fun. No. You can have a plan to enjoy those things of life that you really dream about. Just have a plan to do it, and it'll be provided and ready for you when the time is right. Our culture does not understand that whatsoever, and it's really sad. So the next thing I want us to talk about really quickly is credit cards. You guys love credit cards, right? I got this quick little video of this poor girl who didn't really understand credit cards in her life.
So my max, I got confused with the credit debt and credit limit. So my parents got me a credit card and I ended up getting a max credit limit of $8,000. So I could spend up to $8,000. That's what that means, right? My boyfriend and me and my friends, we would go out and I'm like, oh, I'll pay for everybody. I got it. I'll spend the money. Don't worry about it. It's just a credit card. So I would pay and pay and pay and pay. And then I called my mom one day and I wanted her to be proud of me. So it's just like, hey, I've got $4,000 credit on my credit card. And she's like, credit limit or credit debt. I was like, what's debt? And she's like, oh, that's bad. I'm like, oh, really? Okay. So it's $4,000 debt then? She's like, that's bad. Why did you do that? I'm like, I thought that was good. So my max.
Yeah, so I feel so bad for this girl, and shame on her parents for not telling her what credit cards really mean. Do you guys understand credit cards? Like, it is not a gift card. That's what she thought it was. She thought she just had like $8,000 gift card in her pocket that she could just go and spend and that was it. That's not what a credit card is, all right? Totally different, all right? A credit card is you saying, hey, bank over here, I have a credit card through you. Can I borrow some of your money to go pay for my taquitos over here because I don't have cash to pay for it, right? And then later on in a month, the bank is going to come knocking and say, hey, remember that $8 you borrowed from me to buy your taquitos at the gas station? You gotta pay me for that now. You have to pay me back. So you have to pay the bank then, oh yeah, that's right, I borrowed money from you, to pay for my taquitos, here's your $8. But there's so many people in our culture who you're like, ooh, well, I'm just going to go buy this really expensive thing on my credit card, and then you don't really think through how much you spent on your card because it's just plastic. And you're like, oh, my credit card bill's $4,000. Uh-oh, I only made $150 this month. What do? You then pay the minimum balance on your credit card, and then you get charged 20% interest to borrow that money. That is the danger with credit cards. And actually, Dave Ramsey has this stat out there. I don't even know. Oh, I don't think I had it on there for you guys. That you actually end up spending 20% more, you purchase 20% more if you use a credit card than if you use cash. Because you don't think of the total amount that you've spent because it's just a card, and you're not seeing this physical money disappear out of your wallet. So it's crazy. I added this thing to your notes that at the end of the third quarter in 2024, so this is the very end of last year, the national credit card debt in the United States was how much money? $1.17 trillion. That is how much credit card debt America has. Sorry, not America, the government. Individuals total up to $1.1 trillion. That is ridiculous. That Americans just need so much stuff that we're willing to go into that much debt. I don't want you guys to do that. So we come to number 4. I am all over the place on my PowerPoint, so sorry. Set future you up to win. We've been talking about that the whole night. All right, set future you up to win. Obviously think through future spouse, future kids, future grandkids, future church, future community that you would be able to bless if you manage God's money well. Because the choices that you make today with your money are either going to bless you or burden you in the future. And you are the only one that you have to look to and to hold accountable for, is yourself and the choices that you choose to make in that. One of the huge things that you guys are going to come or be bombarded with very soon is with college. I don't honestly have any time, because I'm already over, to talk about college debt. It is insane. Our country has $1.7 trillion in college debt right now. That is astronomical, and there's almost no way out of it. There are people who can't start their future with their family because they have so much credit card debt that they can't afford a house or a car or to pay for anything, so they use credit cards. Or they keep on kicking this can down of this student loan payment that they take 20, 30 years to pay it off, and they end up spending 8 times as much for school because they're being charged interest this whole time. There's George Campbell has a lot of videos. Dave Ramsey has a lot of videos on the dangers of student loans. Just make a wise choice with where you go to school. Make a wise choice with how much the college costs, because you need to make sure I have to live with this for the rest of my life. This debt that I'm about to enter into for college is something that might last for me for way too long. You want college to be a blessing for you, not a burden. Don't go to the school just because you like it. There is some value in that. Go to a school that first you can afford, and then figure out which one you like. All right? So many people in our culture today are just, ooh, this school looks incredible. I love the sunsets over the cornfield or the mountains or whatever it is, so I want to go there. As opposed to, wait, can I actually afford this first? That needs to be your first filter. Can I afford this college? Do I enjoy this college then? That is where you should start your filter process. Then you are not going to fall into this crazy trap that everybody else has fallen into. So I want you guys to go all the way to the back of your notes. Sorry, not to the very back. Back of your second page of notes. Because there's some important things that I think you guys need to think through as a challenge to you guys before we leave tonight. That I want you guys to think through as you go home. What things do I need to start to organize to be able to get myself on track with my finances? I need to write down key goals of things that I want to maybe, afford later on in life. Maybe you guys would love, a new Trek mountain bike or something for your car, or a paddleboard or something. I don't know what it is. Like, what is that dream thing that you would love, and find a way to budget for it and to pay cash for it? To not just go out and impulse buy things. What are those things that you would love to be able to have, and set a plan to achieve those? For those of you in this room who don't have a bank account, I encourage you, open a bank account. Have an account that you can store your money in. Research these awesome things called money markets or high yield savings accounts. So your money just doesn't sit in an account that gains no interest. There's amazing ways for you to gain interest on your money. I didn't get to the whole retirement thing tonight. I just don't have time to get to it. But compound interest is an amazing and incredible thing. And I want you guys, when you go home, just look up George Kamel and look up retirement. And he has a lot of really cool videos that teach you how to set aside money for retirement. How important it is to set aside money ahead of time, because there is never too early of a time to start saving for retirement, but there is definitely too late of a time to save for retirement. And I don't want you guys to fall into that. So as you guys look at the back of your notes, so I want you guys to think through, how are you going to make a plan to make money in high school? Do you have a job? Do you need to go get a job? Do you need to find a side hustle like shoveling snow, mowing lawns, doing Etsy, like making things with your hands and selling them on Etsy? There's so many different ways for you guys to earn money, and I challenge you to figure out what those are. And the last one is, find someone smarter than you in finances and ask them what you should do next. Ask them how you should budget your money, what you should plan for in the future. What are the unseen things in the future that you don't know are coming, but this other person knows are coming, and you need to have a plan for it? Our goal is for you guys to honor God with your money, because you understand that it's a gift from Him. Have a plan for your money so you don't squander those gifts that God has given you, so that you can take care of future you, your future spouse, your future children. Because when the time comes for you guys to find your significant other, I don't want you to have to wait because you don't have money to buy a ring. Or once you get married, have to wait to have a wedding because you have no money to pay for a wedding. Or to wait to buy a house because you don't have any money to go buy a house. Or you have to wait to have kids because you have no money to pay for diapers or to pay for food or have an extra room for a kid. I don't want you guys to have to wait for those things. Start setting your habits now of how you spend money to honor and to glorify God, because He will bless you in incredible ways in your life, and you will truly be fruitful because He has understood that you have sought to honor and glorify Him with the gifts that He has given you. Let me close this in prayer. God, I thank you so much for how clear you were in your word for us to manage our money in a way that's honoring and glorifying to you, God. Thank you for showing us that you've had a plan from the very beginning, and we too need to have a plan for our lives and for our plans with our money. God, I pray that we can just honor you and just truly understand that they are all truly a gift from you, and because of that, we need to use it in a way that's honoring and glorifying to you. God, challenge every student in this room to think about not just themselves right here and right now, but what they can do to set themselves up to win in the future, to be a blessing to those around them, and to be a blessing to their community or to their church, because you have given them resources beyond imagination. But God, those choices and those decisions start now. And I pray that these students truly grasp that and work towards that, God. We lift all these things up in the name of your Son, Jesus. Amen.